Carême had been cooking at the Congress of Vienna, which in post-Napoleonic Europe had turned into a 2-year party. Today, Eric is exploring the city with his Viennese friend Astrid and finding out about its famous café culture, which still exists today. We're starting at one of the oldest coffee houses, Café Central.
What should we order?
The typical Viennese coffee is a melange. It's called melange.
Melange, okay.
It's a black coffee with a milk schaum, with a milk foam on the top.
Okay. So should we try that famous coffee?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
You like
very
it?
good coffee, yeah. It's strong, but it's not too bitter, you know, it's very smooth coffee.
The story of the Viennese coffee house begins with the siege of Vienna in 1683. Ottoman Empire tried to conquer the city, wanting access to the Danube and supply lines into Europe. But incredibly, they lost, and the spoils of war included coffee beans.
A man who helped the Viennese in that battle opened in the late 17th century
as
the
old as that,
first
yeah.
coffee house in Vienna. This institution to brew coffee was one of the reasons why so many coffee houses could establish in Vienna.
Like this beautiful one here, the Pine Cafe, yeah.
Yeah. That's also a specialty not only of this house, but of the Viennese coffee culture.
Yeah.
It's called Einspänner.
Yeah.
It's a black coffee served in a glass with some cream on the top.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to change?
That's the melange. Oh, almost. Can we share this?
Yeah.
That's what I'm interested in with. But
Yeah.
look, so lovely.
It's a special pastry. It's filled with plum.
And this is just a specialty of his cafe. I'm gonna have to have a piece of that.
Yeah, you do.
It's nice and warm. It's definitely got some yeast inside. It's almost like a mixture between a brioche or a donut. You know the donuts? And the plum inside. I love plum like that. That's a very nice pastry. I'm probably gonna have to create something similar when I go back, because it's so nice and light.
Coffee was not the only legacy from the failed Turkish invasion.
The croissant, as French as a crusty baguette, a tarte tatin, steak frite, the beautiful Catherine Deneuve. It's not. It's actually a Viennese pastry created to celebrate the victory over the Turks. And that's why we got this shape on the Islamic crescent. Still delicious.
Another famous dish the French love to take credit for is the charlotte, but they have a few rivals.
So this one is a huge classic, charlotte. You got many variations, many histories, many people taking credit on the charlotte. The one I'm going to make is actually a pink champagne charlotte. It's a cold process, so it's not a baked charlotte, but we're still going to have to make a bit of baking because it's actually decorated with what we call in France biscuit cuillère, spoon fingers. Take some egg yolks and castor sugar. Whisk thoroughly. Then mix egg whites with vanilla sugar and icing sugar. Okay, so now we're going to mix them together. You know, usual story when you incorporate egg white in any other mixture is you put a good spoonful in a mixture, mix it well, and you just put that on top of the rest of the egg white, and you just fold it gently. And you can see it's such a light mixture. Okay, so now we're going to sift some plain flour inside on the top of our mixture. Okay, so gently again incorporating plain flour. So baking tray. Put the mixture into a piping bag and pipe out the long finger of the cuillère mixture. Covered, covered and covered with a lot of icing sugar. Of course, the icing sugar touching the wet mixture will dissolve, so we're going to give them 5 minutes. Then pipe out discs of the cuillère mixture, which will form layers in our charlotte. Okay, so you can see most of the icing sugar on the actual fingers have disappeared, so we can give it another dusting. Let's put them in the oven. They go in a medium oven at 180 degrees for up to 20 minutes. Okay, so the biscuits are now ready to come out, and you can see the lovely colors and the dust of the icing sugar on the top, and a They smell lovely. And the same with the little layers are going to go inside the shallot. So I'm just going to grab my food processor and I'm going to start by putting the berries inside. So those berries been washed and I cut all the stalk out of it. And add the caster sugar. And finally, 2 lemon juice to give a nice little zest. Every country is taking to take credit on who invented the shallot. The British said they created the shallot, named after Queen Charlotte, who was Prince Regent's gorgeous daughter. The Russian as well is trying to take credit, and that's a very similar recipe than the British one. But the French got a different idea about the shallot, and that's the one with the biscuit cuillère on the outside, with much lighter and fluffier, and that's the one Carême used to do. So I'm going to zap my fruit together to make a nice fruit puree. Okay, so our fruit puree is ready, and then that's going to be the base for the inside of our shallot. So I'm going to pass it through a sieve to lose all the little pits and seeds who are inside the strawberries and the raspberries. I mean, I don't mind personally to have the seed inside, but I know a lot of people don't like it. It's best to do it nice and smooth. And now, the champagne. We need 250 ml. So I'm going to add that to the fruit puree. It's going to fizz away. The next step is to incorporate some gelatin. That's going to make our cake to stand up. Heat the gelatin, making sure it dissolves completely. Then add that to the berry and champagne mixture. When that's completely cool, add in the whipped cream and stir. Look at the color, beautiful color. So that's really perfect. I'm going to do my shallot actually in this mold. So first step, I'm going to put one of our discs of biscuit cuillère at the base of our tin. And I'm just going to, with a ladle, layer the mousse mixture inside. I mean, this is something you're probably best to do the day before, so it will set nicely in the fridge overnight. So just going to put a second layer of our sponge fingers, and we're going to top it up right to the top with the rest of our mixture. The shallot needs to set overnight. I have one already set. Just by touching it, you can see it's fine. And I'm going to tip it over. The edges are quite soft, which is perfect, because we're going to stick our sponge fingers around it. You can see why I find it better to put the biscuit after you build the cake, because you don't have to squash the biscuit as well. And they don't get, if your mixture is quite liquid, like the fruit mousse is, the biscuit will start to soak that juice and it will go soggy. So at least the biscuit is going to be nice and crunchy. So I got some blueberries, blackberries, red currant, and some very nice small strawberries here and raspberries. But before I do that, I'm just going to secure the biscuit around with a nice ribbon, and that's what you will see in all the patisseries around France. Yeah, and just going to decorate it with the berries. A few berries around the cake as well to serve with it. And the final touch, little dusting of icing sugar. And to be honest, British, Russian, French, who cares? Pink champagne shallot with red berries.
The Siege of Vienna in 1683 brought coffee and croissants to Europe. But much later in the 19th century, a cake was invented that would find its way to every table in every café in Vienna. This cake was to be made for Prince Metternich. A young apprentice, covering for his boss, was drafted in at the last minute. His name was Franz Sacher.
Okay, so we're in Vienna here, and I think it would be terrible for me to try to make an original Sachertorte here. So I'm going to make my own kind of little twist of it.
Okay.
We can call it maybe a chocolate cake inspired by the original Sachertorte. And you could be my apprentice. You could be the Miss Sacher for the day. So we're going to start by breaking some eggs.
First, the torte itself.
So Astrid, do you cook at home at all? Do you bake or?
No.
What that laugh mean?
That laugh means Astrid doesn't cook or separate eggs
I'm absolutely not used to cook.
or whisk.
Go like this and you go like this. You can stay for 1 week, nothing's gonna happen.
Add vanilla extract, some melted butter, and incorporate.
And that's
Okay.
real butter or is it margarine?
Astrid, of course it's butter.
Add good quality melted dark chocolate.
Don't stop, just go for it.
After Astrid's margarine faux
In the
pas,
supermarket,
she does
you
it
can
again.
get already the ready-made dough.
Don't mention that.
Whisk egg white and caster sugar.
That's a test. I could do it over your head, but I'm not that cruel, just in case.
Mix in, and then add flour.
We are ready to roll.
Put into the tin, buttered and with silicone paper at the bottom. These go in the oven for half an hour at 180 degrees.
Okay, so I'm melting some chocolate here. Dark chocolate, the same one we used for the make the sponge earlier. And that's good to make some nice decoration to go on top of our cake. So,
But there is no decoration on a Sachertorte.
yes, I know that, but this is my Sachertorte. And I'm going to use this with, it's acetate sheets.
Now for the decoration. Spread some melted chocolate over the acetate. Chop some dried apricots. Sprinkle liberally. Do the same with some sugar pearls and leave to set. After 30 minutes, you can take out the cakes.
So now we're going to do the glaze, and that's a traditional glaze. We're going to coat it completely with a nice dark glossy glaze.
Pour double cream into a heavy bottom saucepan.
Some dark chocolate, the same chocolate we used again for the sponge or for the decorations, a nice good quality dark chocolate.
Okay.
And some caster sugar.
Mix well whilst on the heat. Add a teaspoon of glucose syrup to add a glossy look to the glaze. Add a little of the mixture to 1 whole egg so your glaze thickens.
And now we can put this back in this mixture.
You take over.
Yep, I'll take it over. And gonna do that.
All right.
And that's, I mean, look at that. That's
Excellent.
perfect.
Perfect
You should be able
quality.
to do this with your finger and it stay.
Final flavor, some vanilla extract.
If you put it straight away from the beginning, with all the heating up, the flavor is gonna go up in the air. So
The glaze is heated and the cake is cut into 2.
Wow.
perfect texture. So I got this apricot preserve. So we're just gonna spray gently. We don't want to put too much as well, because it will be too sweet. So you see, I'm using it. I'm gonna use the cake upside down. So we've got a nice flat surface in, and again, just a very, very thin layer of it.
Set the cake on a white tray with another tray underneath to catch the excess chocolate glaze. Smooth with a palette knife. Break up your set chocolate decoration. Decorate with the broken pieces, some chopped apricots, some more sugar pearls, and vanilla pods.
The other apricot and the whole ones.
A real fancy Sachertorte.
We add quite a bit of vanilla in our cake, so I'm just going to put this 2
Okay.
and vanilla on the top. A bit of glamour, and here we are. My special, controversial
Super.
Sachertorte.
Looks fantastic.
For someone who doesn't cook, Astrid is a bit of a Sachertorte purist. What would she make of my own version?
Are we ready to try it now?
Yeah. Are you curious as well?
Yeah, of course. I'm always curious.
Is it your first
I just want to make
Sachertorte
sure.
you made?
Like this, yes. I just thought, yeah. What do you think?
I'm not lying now. It's really nice.
Sachertorte I ever ate.
Really? Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. That's that's
Can't stop eating it. And what is really nice is those apricots.
It gives some texture as well to the cake.
From a twist on one classic recipe to another, though this one you may have bad memories of. Blancmange with pears.
Today I'm going to make Antonin Carême's favorite dessert. In his book, he went on and on about how to make the best blancmange, different variations on different recipes. I know in England you call them blancmange, and it probably remind you of some very nasty dessert you had as a kid. But this one is a very special one, obviously. We're going to make a pear blancmange with spices. So I got some pears, so I'm just going to peel them. And I'm going to keep the stalk on it as well because, I think it looks more rustic. When you buy a pear, it's best to get some quite hard one because if they are too ripe, after the poaching, they're just going to melt away and you're not going to be able to use them. Cut the base and cut them in half and remove the center. So I got some caster sugar and 1.5 liters of water. And we've got some clear honey, a cinnamon stick, I'm going to break in half. I got star aniseed, 3 cloves, and I'm just going to cut in half vanilla pod, and finally a few grind of black pepper and the juice of a lemon. So that's for our poaching syrup. So that's going to go on the stove for 10 minutes. So those I made last night. So I drained the pears and I passed the syrup to a sieve. So I got some gelatin leaves here who've been soaked. I'm going to melt this gelatin on the heat. Okay, so this is very quick, just a bit of heat. And you can see the gelatin leaves is completely liquid. I'm just going to whisk that in my cold syrup. So as I'm doing this, let me explain to you a bit how Carême's condition in the kitchen used to be in those days. He used to boil bones for days and days to collect that thick gelatins to make the blancmange or other recipes. So I got one of those silicone mold. Will make it much easier to remove. So we're going to place our pears, first of all. You have to imagine the bottom is what you're going to see, so just trying to make it to look interesting and pretty. We're just going to cover the pears. This is going to be just the top of our blancmange. So we're just going to cover the pear. So that's going to go in the fridge to set. It probably will take up to 1 hour. So you have plenty of time to make the blancmange. Okay, so we're going to make the blancmange now. I got some hot milk, very hot milk. So that's going to go in this bowl. Some ground almond. Just going to mix it in. I got some sugar, and I'm going to scrape the inside of 1 vanilla pod as well. The best way to keep vanilla pods and to stop them drying if you're not using them a lot is to freeze them. Okay, so that's well dissolved. Just to enhance the flavor of the ground almond, I'm going to add a couple of drops of almond essence, pure almond essence. So that's very, very strong, so just 2 drops. And I got 2 egg yolks and 50 grams of caster sugar. I'm just going to mix it together, add a bit of the warm mixture to it, and I'm going to add that to our mixture. Some soak gelatin, so same process than we have before. I'm going to melt it in a saucepan briefly on a stove. Okay, so we're going to incorporate the melted gelatin. Okay, so this is going to have to cool down because we can't put it hot on the top of our syrup, jelly and pears.
Whilst the blancmange mix cools, your pears and jelly will set in the fridge.
So the blancmange mix is now completely cold. So I'm going to put it on the top of our pear and syrup jelly. Look pretty good already. I'm just going to sieve the blancmange mix in a jug and just, always give it a good squeeze with a wooden spatula to push all the final bits, including the vanilla pods. And we're going to fill the mold right to the top with our sift on cold mixture now. So this is going to have to set again in the fridge. Give it at least a minimum of a couple of hours to set. So I got one here which is already set. Here I got some of the poaching syrup, and I kind of reduce it for a few minutes on the stove. I filled my sink with some hot water, warm water, so I'm just going to dip the dish inside. We're going to turn it around and hopefully it'll be released. Maybe some brave person will do that at a dinner table in front of their friends. I won't. I'm always paranoid something seriously wrong going to happen. Here we are. Spray a bit of the spicy syrup all around it. A cinnamon stick. So I'm not going to write pages on pages about blancmange or blancmange, but this is my blancmange pear with spicy syrup.